Welcome, everyone, to the AI Sports Predictor, where chaos meets calculation, and every game's a showdown between brilliance and disaster. Let's kick things off, Tennessee Volunteers versus Kentucky Wildcats. Buckle up, here we go. You know Rupp Arena? That cathedral of Kentucky basketball? Tonight, the Vols aren't walking in, they're storming the gates, 20-4, eyes on a number 1 seed. They've got the swagger, but don't mistake that for recklessness. The Vols have been burning through teams like a house fire in a dry forest, 3 straight wins. And they've barely broken a sweat. Ask Oklahoma, who got beat down 70-52 like they owed someone money. Rick Barnes, that guy knows what he's doing. Rim protection, blocks, vertical plays, everything fell like dominoes last Saturday. Chaz Lanier drops 21 points, Zakai Ziegler lights up for 17, and those rebounds. Forget about it, they crushed the glass 35-21. And they didn't just win, they humiliated the Sooners and whistled while they did it. But here's the thing about Tennessee, they're not just built to score. They're built to lock you in a straitjacket. Number 1 in the nation in defensive efficiency. They'll suffocate you, take your air, and by the time you realize you're drowning, they've already walked away. Still, you think the Wildcats are scared? Kentucky doesn't do scared. They're 16-7, and they know how to hit the reset button. Saturday's 80-57 blowout over South Carolina. That wasn't basketball, it was an exorcism. Otega dropped 17, and Garrison adds 15. Kentucky owned the paint like it was their birthright, outscoring South Carolina 44-26 and turning their bench into a points factory. This is their shot at redemption. First meeting between these two. Kentucky shot lights out from 3, 43%. That's what killed the Vols. But Tennessee's not stupid. You think they're gonna let that happen again? Not a chance. They've been waiting for this rematch like it's personal. And trust me, it is. Kentucky's got the offense, top in field goal percentage, top in threes. But defense, they've been slipping. 15th in the SEC in points allowed, and that's the crack in their armor Tennessee plans to exploit. So, where do we land? Tight game, sure, but I'm putting my chips on the defense. Ziegler's running the offense like a general. And if they shut down the perimeter, Kentucky's dream of a sweep goes up in smoke. And today's AI pick is Tennessee. You can hear the Wildcats fans grumbling already. They'll chant, they'll stomp, and they'll shout till the ceiling shakes. But here's the truth, noise doesn't win games, execution does. The Vols have learned their lesson. This time, when the ball leaves a Wildcat's hand beyond the arc, you can bet there'll be a volunteer in his face. One misstep, one hesitation, and Tennessee's defense will be all over them like a crime scene. This game's not just about points, it's about pride. It's about who wants it more. And tonight, I'm betting Tennessee leaves with the bragging rights. On to Game 2.
Game 2, Purdue Boilermakers vs. Michigan Wolverines, Big Ten battle, the stakes high enough to choke on. Let's dive in. Purdue's been on a warpath, 4 straight wins, 11 of their last 12. Friday night, they didn't just beat USC. They buried them, 90-72, and walked off like they had somewhere better to be. Trey Kaufman-Renn? That man's got ice in his veins. Dropped 24 points, snagged 10 rebounds, and made it all look so easy you'd think he was playing pickup at the park. The Boilermakers shot 50% from the field. Boards? They owned them, 48-31. They're the team no one wants to meet right now. Sitting on top of the Big Ten with a cold-blooded grin. They put up 78.7 points per game, splash threes like it's target practice, and shoot nearly 50% from the field, 4th best in Division I. These guys are lethal from beyond the arc. Knocking down 7.9 threes a night while their defense keeps opponents to under 70 points per game. And with Braden Smith dishing out 8.8 assists per game, they've got a conductor orchestrating this symphony of chaos. But Michigan? Don't sleep on them. They've won 4 straight. Took down Indiana on the road, 70-67, like it was some kind of thriller made for TV. Danny Wolf was the star of that show, 20 points, 9 boards, 5 assists. This team grinds. They've survived close games all season. 4-point wins, 3-point thrillers. They live for that last-minute pressure. And offensively? They're putting up 81.7 points per game, 26th in the nation. And are deadly from downtown with 9.3 triples a night. The difference? Purdue hits harder and faster. And Michigan's defense, ranked 145th, leaves cracks for someone like Kaufman-Wren to exploit. Michigan's been riding the edge of survival. But Purdue doesn't do mercy. And today's AI pick is Purdue Boilermakers moneyline. Michigan will fight, claw, and throw every punch they have. But Purdue? They'll eat those punches, smile, and deliver the knockout blow. This won't be a story of survival, it'll be a Boilermaker clinic on how to dismantle an opponent piece by piece. Michigan's perfect home record? Say goodbye to it. They'll learn tonight that some teams aren't built for happy endings. On to Game 3.
Game 3, Florida Gators vs. Mississippi State Bulldogs. A midweek SEC clash, but don't be fooled, this isn't your average midweek drama. Someone's leaving Humphrey Coliseum bruised, battered, and asking what the hell just happened. The Gators, man. They've got momentum. At 23, they're not just having a good season. They're walking into March like kings ready to claim the throne. They just put the Auburn Tigers in a blender and hit puree, snapping their road woes and vaulting to third in the rankings. But tonight's tricky. Emotional highs like that have a habit of leaving a team vulnerable, and Mississippi State's got that opportunistic gleam in their eyes. The Gators live and die by the three. Their offense ranks among the top 80 in nearly every category. But their real magic is from deep. Will Clayton Jr. is their sniper. Give him space, and he'll rain shots that'll make you feel like you're standing in a hailstorm. Mississippi State? They've struggled to defend the three all season, and that's the Achilles heel Florida's looking to stab right through. But don't count out the Bulldogs just yet. They're 8-3 at home, and while that's not fortress-level dominance, it's enough to make you think twice before calling this a blowout. Josh Hubbard is the man to watch, one of the SEC's premier scorers. He's got that senior poise, the kind that can flip the script if you give him a window. The Bulldogs will want to speed things up, turn this into chaos, and hope Florida's rhythm cracks under pressure. The problem? Florida doesn't crack. They lure you in with their slow, deliberate pace and choke the life out of you on defense. Mississippi State's been inconsistent, struggling to find that killer instinct, and against a team as efficient and disciplined as the Gators, that's a recipe for disaster. And today's AI pick is Florida, 1.5. Florida's defense will strangle any hopes of an upset. Will Clayton Jr. will do what he does best, light up the scoreboard, and when the Bulldogs try to make it a track meet, they'll find themselves out of breath by halftime. The Gators know what's at stake, and tonight, they're not just hunting a win. They're putting down anyone who gets in their way. On to Game 4.
Game 4, Alabama Crimson Tide vs. Texas Longhorns. A collision in Texas where pride, desperation, and championship hopes all come to a boiling point. Let's break it down. Alabama rolls into town with a 6-game winning streak, sitting at 23, looking like they own the SEC and, frankly, they just might. Saturday night, they beat Arkansas 85-81 in a game they almost let slip, but don't mistake that for weakness. They dominated the paint 56-36 and had 4 players in double digits. Grant Nelson and Chris Youngblood dropped 15 each. Mohamed Diallo added 14, and Mark Sears brought balance to the chaos with points, boards, and assists like he had a checklist he wasn't leaving unfinished. These guys don't just win the overwhelm. First in the SEC in scoring, third in field goal shooting, and they jack up threes like they're allergic to mid-range shots. And let me tell you, when those threes land, it's like fireworks in Jula blinding, loud, and impossible to ignore. Texas. They're 15-9 and hanging on like a cat dangling off a balcony. Saturday, they fell to Vanderbilt 86-78, letting a 4-point halftime lead turn into a second-half nightmare. Tree Johnson tried 15 points, 5 assists, 5 boards, but it wasn't enough. The Longhorns are struggling to match the physicality of teams with size, and Alabama is exactly the type of opponent that will make them pay. Defensively, the Longhorns are respectable but have cracks you can drive a truck through. They're 12th in the SEC in three-point defense and just 11th in turnover margin. Against a team like Alabama, that's a death sentence. Alabama will pound the ball inside until Texas collapses, then swing it out to their shooters, who'll be left wide open like it's a practice drill. And today's AI pick is Alabama. The Longhorns will try to fight, don't get me wrong. But this isn't a fair fight. This is Alabama, playing like a team that knows March Madness isn't a dream, it's a destination. Expect a clinic in perimeter exploitation and paint domination. By the time the clock hits 0, the only thing Texas will be counting is the number of threes they gave up. On to Game 5.
Game 5, Indiana Hoosiers vs. Michigan State Spartans. The final showdown of the night. Let's finish strong. The Hoosiers, struggling would be putting it nicely. 5 straight losses. 7 of their last 8. They've been stuck in a rut so deep they'd need a ladder and a miracle to climb out. Saturday's game against Michigan. They fell short. 76-7, Almer Ballo, their go-to guy, put up solid numbers, 13.7 points, 9.6 rebounds, but when you've got a defense that's leaking points like a broken faucet, solid isn't enough. Turnovers, missed threes, defensive lapses, that's been Indiana's storyline. They've got flashes of potential, sure, but flashes don't win games. They need consistency, and they need it now. But guess what? They're walking into the Breslin Center, where Michigan State has been untouchable. The Spartans are 12-0 at home, and they play like they've got a personal vendetta against anyone who tries to take that away. Michigan State, they're not here to mess around. Coming off an 86-7-4 win over Oregon, they're hungry for more. Jaden Akins leads the scoring, Jeremy Fears Jr. is their playmaker, and Jackson Kohler owns the boards. These guys shoot 4-7% from the field, hit 81% from the free throw line, and lock opponents down with a defense that forces 11 turnovers a game. They don't just win, they squeeze the life out of you. And today's AI pick is Michigan State 11.5. Indiana will try. They'll fight. But this isn't the night for underdog miracles. The Spartans have the rebounding advantage, the free throw edge, and a home crowd that'll roar like a jet engine. When the clock hits 0, the Breslin Center will be buzzing, and Indiana will be wondering what went wrong today. Let's recap those picks. Game 1, Tennessee. Game 2, Purdue. Game 3, Florida. Game 4, Alabama. Game 5, Michigan State. There you have it. 5 picks, locked and loaded. If you liked what you heard, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and stick around for more AI-powered predictions. This is AI Sports Predictor, where the game doesn't end until we say it does. See you next time.
Here we go.